Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to Map Making with me, BonBonB. I'm BonBonB. You're very, very welcome, and welcome back to Duvo, the provisional name for my second map build. Right, today we will be running at triple speed because we are going to be doing a lot of boring, repetitive detailing. We were doing reeds, and we've got a little bit more reed work to do, but not too much. This is on the little lake on the island with the island in the lake, you know the one. Right, got a little bit going on here. Now, we're also going to be doing a tiny, weeny little bit of terraforming. You may notice it will flip over in about 8 seconds or something crazy. It's just something very fast as we're doing this little bit of detailing. Down by the jetty, the abandoned jetty, because while it looks pretty much perfect in the map builder, when I did a little test view of this area, the ground at the end of the jetty, where the legs have just sort of like there's just some legs left, and that's it. The jetty's like rotted away. That was raised just a little bit above and glitching above the water level there, with no foliage on it. So doing a little bit of terraforming here to drop it down a little bit. I'm not promising that this will fix the problem, but at least it's a step towards it, and when I go back and check the testing, that may have resolved the issue. But the fact that there was no foliage there either was a bit of concern to me, and hopefully we are now fixing that little problem. So anyway, yes, foliage, watery type foliage today is what we are doing. This little bunch of shrubs, which isn't designed really to be water foliage, I think it looks really good as a water feature detail. And we will be putting a lot of these down, individually, hand placed each and every time. Figuring that these are I would say preferable. They like the water area, they like it shallow, and they go where there is already foliage, sort of like holding the muddy ground together. Does that make sense? You know, as the water, if there's less foliage there, the ground, the silt is more likely to move, and so they're less able to get a grip into this. Makes sense in my little head. Anyway. You'll notice when we get to the rivers, they will extend a little bit closer to the actual saltwater area than the river reeds, because for me the river reeds are a little bit deeper, getting a grip into the fresh water a bit deeper down, whereas these are a lot shallower and can survive a little bit close to the saltwater area. That will make a bit of sense when we get to that. So how is the map coming along in my head? Well, now I'm starting to really get a feel that we are not quite in the latter stages, but we are pushing towards the latter stages of the main map build. I may still be a couple of weeks worth of good stuff to do before we start doing the boring stuff. When I say the boring stuff, let's drop out the map editor, go and have a look at the map in the main game, and slowly but surely working over all the little aspects that aren't perfect when you actually go into the game engine. That is something that a lot of newer, or shall we say necessarily less conscientious map makers. That's not to say that's a bad thing, because this is a game and not everybody is going to be as completely anal, yes I use the word anal there, as I am about wanting to. Of course I've got to try and make this not absolutely, it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. I'm not going to be breaking any new grounds that certain other outstanding map makers do. I've got one particular in mind who basically they produce the map of the year. There's no way anybody, the only person who's going to be able to beat the map of the year between now and Christmas is the person who's made, in my mind, what is the map of the year. You probably already worked out who it is, whether or not you've decided which one of their few maps was actually the one that stood out. But boy, did it stand out. Oh my god, I am still in awe. Well, we're not going to be quite up to that level, But what we'll be doing is I want to get to a level when people review my map and look at it and go, oh, this is that bleeding map reviewer who ripped my... And I want them to at least say, well, do you know what? The effort was made. I don't like it. I wouldn't build on it. I need more build. I hate island maps. Blah blah blah. Okay, fine. But I want them to actually be able to look at the map and go, yeah, okay. Credit where it's due. I wouldn't give it a 5 for detail because river reeds don't live in or in that sort of water or whatever. Yeah, fine. I'm open to criticism. If you hate my map, give it 1 star. Honestly, I'm big enough to be able to take it on the chin, even though today's episode brings it up to over 24 hours of actual build time, complete sat down and working on build time. As a day of my life, a day of this last year has been spent just sat doing this, which is great, and I love it. Absolutely, they're very therapeutic, and of course talking to you about it is more therapy. Who needs to pay for therapy when you can just get it off of YouTube? Oh, I love it. So yes, in terms of water detailing, the wetlands are pretty much done by the end of today's episode. There's one more wetland plant that I'll be putting down, which will happen in today's episode, and that will basically be pretty much it. As I will be going back to... I'm ahead of myself here, but the ornamental lake, I'm not entirely happy with the foliage that I've done on the ornamental lake. I've got some ideas for how I can do a better job of it, but the actual wetlands, the river system and such, looks pretty reasonable. The other area that we will need to do some water detailing on, of course, will be the river exit on the mainland, which at the moment currently just looks like a gap in the mainland. As a bridge going over it, it's not clear that it is actually a river, and I'm going to have to do some sandbars and some basic work on that to make it look more like a river exit, and of course a little bit of foliage, which will be a lot of these river reeds. I'm going to be honest with you, river reeds is going to be the thing down there, I reckon. So that's what's going on with the water detailing. We are almost there. What more needs to be done on the map as a whole? Let me think. Not too much in the way of trees. I may have to look at some of the trees, but yeah, we've got the 2 feature areas. One of them, there was a little hint a couple of episodes ago that we flew over and I told you not to look at. There's a little hint there. I didn't leave it there as a hint. I started doing something and then I completely forgot it was there. So oopsie. It won't tell you what I'm doing, but it will be one of those things when you see me actually working on it, you'll go, yeah, that's what he was talking about. There's not enough of a clue for you to be able to guess what I'm doing there. I did try trialing it just to see whether it would work, and it wasn't working, so it might actually not happen at all. But in my vision it does, and I want to at least try and give it a try. That's the idea with that one. What else? The bridges, we've got the causeway bridge, needs its stone supports of some description put back in, which went mysteriously missing, and to this day I still don't know what happened. I need to go rooting around on the workshop and finding them again, or finding something very similar, or complete alternative even. So that's not the best. Then we got the coast. The beaches and the coastline is well, adequate, I think, is the phrase at the moment. I need to go a step above adequate. I'm not talking about necessarily having the best beaches and the most exciting beaches that you've ever seen. That said, the beaches definitely will need some work and a little bit of detailing just to make them look a little bit more, at the moment, believable. Some of them are just not really. They're just beaches. Generic, ordinary City Skylines beaches, and that's fine. That is fine as a generality, but I just need to do a little bit of work on them anyway. Then we have the underwater detailing because of the tides mod, which I'll be using hopefully. And so there'll be a lot of underwater terrain work needs to be done first of all, making sure that everything works roughly how I want it there. A little bit of underwater detailing so that it looks good. Of course it's going to look good. I've gone with some sand at the moment, but I did say when I was doing that was more for not inspiration. Yeah, inspiration's the word, I suppose. That kind of area. A little bit of terrain work as well here because there are some trees that were just a little bit too much in the water for my liking. So yeah, yes. So I've done some sand work, which is more just to give me a feel, give me a little push in the right direction for moving into the underwater at some point. So that's to do. I've got a second feature area, which will be one of the last things I do because of the underwater terrain work and all that. That kind of ties in with this other feature area. No, it's not a sunken shipwreck. It's no. I'm just checking the visuals there. The visuals look good. The visuals look very, very happy with the visuals there. Right, now we're on to the whitewater lilies. Okay, this is I was talking about the work around the ornamental lake. I'm not happy with what I've achieved here, and I will come back and just maybe tweak it. I might have to add something, might take something away. I don't know exactly, but I have some ideas that I need to play with. So yes, I've got the second feature area, which is definitely going to happen. Forget about the first one, which I'm talking about. There was a teaser for. That one may or may not work. If it doesn't work, I don't mind. I can live with it, and I can just do away with it. I can just kill it, obviously. But the second one, I have really very strongly in my head. I really want this to happen in this particular map. Definitely. Well, if it doesn't happen in this map, it won't happen in any map. I've kind of seen a little nod to it in some other creators' maps, but it's been a nod to and hasn't actually been an actual properly fleshed out full feature, and that I really want to. It's got to work in this map. It has to work in this map. It really has to. I've even had to custom build an asset to make it work. Me, an asset builder. Woo! Don't worry, it's not rocket science. Honestly, it's just very minor stuff. Don't get excited about BonBonB's new asset. Honestly, it's probably somebody else has done exactly the same asset as I have done, but could I find it? No, I couldn't, so had to make it. There we go. That's the great thing with the workshop, finding what you want. Good luck. very much good luck. But yes, I'm genuinely hoping that this map will be finished within the next month. Where are we? 6 episodes a week. Yeah, there goes the siren past my window. Stop it. Right. 6 episodes a week, which is 3 hours a week. 4 weeks would be 12 hours. I can't see this being more than 12 hours work. So about by the end of November, roughly, the early Christmas present for you guys will be hopefully the release of this map. Hopefully. With any luck, it's gonna look good. It's gonna look. These water areas are absolutely popping. They really are. I'm quite pleased with the way they're coming out. Water lilies around the just patchy areas where there's foliage already again as well. Nipping more out into the water than the shrubs that we put down earlier, and it also highlights the shrubs as well. So the shrubs give it a little bit of vertical definition, and these just give it a little horizontal definition as well. It's really very nice. There are some really cracking assets on the workshop, aren't there? There really are, especially with foliage. And I'm not even going to start to credit the creators, because if I say one creator's name, then there'll be 6 others that go, yeah, you always mention. I'm going to say, you always mention Mr. Maison. This was on your show. Yes, I know. He's the one that jumps to mind. There are loads of others, and I will try to. I'll have to do a show where I mention some of the lesser mentioned creators who do stuff that we use all the time. At some point, gosh, so many things to do on this channel. So many. So yes, anyway, frog spawn. We need frog spawn. Anybody out there able to make some frog spawn? That would be amazing. No, it wouldn't be amazing, would it? It'd be one more thing. Must sign up for that asset. What? Frog spawn from BonBonB. Oh, hell spells buckets of blood. Okay. So, sorry, snorted into the mic there. Right, we are approaching the end of today's show. Yes, I don't even know where I'm going to start tomorrow, because basically, I think I have done all of the stuff that was on my backlist of my list of tasks that desperately needed urgently doing. I could tidy the roads, I guess. That'd be a bit boring, but I think I might just do that, because the roads are down, the roads are where they are going to go, but there'll be some minor jinky jankies going on, and just some minor tweaks that need doing. So I think what to do on tomorrow's show will be the very boring task of going into the game, moving along the map, the road, node by node in the main game engine, seeing if there's anything that needs just gently touching and tweaking and making perfect, and then coming back into the editor and hopefully getting them perfect, and then going back into the main game and testing again, and so forth. Anyway, that's me done. Thanks for watching. Join me tomorrow for another map making, and also for what map. Thanks for watching. Bye everybody.